Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm Jason Cabanis from Seattle University, and I've got Shannon Keeley from Willamette
Yep.
with me on this. And sorry, if you want to introduce yourself, Shannon.
Yes. Hi, I'm Shannon Keeley. I am the Associate University Librarian for Teaching, Learning, and Engagement at Willamette University.
Yeah, and so we are going to kind of discuss a few things that Jacqueline and David also talked about, as well as build on some things regarding the disclosure frameworks. Um, shoot, I am. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to talk about privacy, environmental impact, bias, copyright, and then build on the disclosure framework that Jacqueline spoke of and talk about transparency with AI use. And so I'm going to start with AI and privacy. And just to be clear that this is not intended to deter or sway you from using or not using AI, but just to um, talk about ethics as far as part of the AI literacy model, and that as it was stated before, that this is a minimally regulated industry, and that it is important that we be knowledgeable about where the data is coming from, how it is being used. And so, first off, things for librarians to consider is, what data are companies using to train their AI models? For example, the Primo Research Assistant is being trained on the Central Discovery Index from Clarivate. That is pretty clear in their documentation. Um, it's also important to see, is the company being transparent about where their data is coming from? So how far within their documentation do you have to go to find where they are training their data on? And just a couple of really fast examples of AI and privacy in the news. We've seen Anthropic and OpenAI and their contracts with the Department of Defense. OpenAI having agreed to one recently, and Anthropic is starting the process of making their models available to the Pentagon and the Department of Defense. We've also seen Palantir supporting the Department of Homeland Security and especially ICE. Um, and then we're also learning about Anthropic's Mythos model, which they're deeming too dangerous to release yet. And there are concerns about its ability to um, bypass security of financial institutions, and there's more to learn from there. Um, and then also there's further AI integration into operating systems, specifically Apple Intelligence, Gemini, and Copilot. And there are concerns about the impact on encrypted apps and any app with your personal data or login information. And then it was mentioned before, but just for libraries, when you are implementing a new tool or opting into something, it's important to monitor the license agreements and the documentation, and to ask, is the AI model training on user prompts? What happens to user data? Is it anonymized? Is there a risk of it being de-anonymized as it's being used? And then it's important to gather staff feedback and make collective decisions on the use of new tools. And if there are, to keep in mind opt-out options if it's not something that you want to uh, use at the moment. And then this was also discussed, but I want to go a little further into AI's environmental impact. Um, so uh, data centers and AI models require GPUs, which require chip manufacturing. Those require rare earth metals, which are cause a lot of pollution in their extraction and refinement. They are often located in areas of the world where geopolitical issues can cause issues regarding the purchase of those and the access to those by companies. They also need to be replaced every 3 to 5 years on current estimates, so that continued manufacturing is needing to happen at a pretty frequent pace. And then we're also learning more about data centers, which is where all of the processing goes on with AI models. Um, not all AI models are equal in terms of their environmental impact, but for many of the larger companies, they're using data centers that require extreme amounts of potable water to cool their servers. They also require electricity that, in some estimates, are equal to that of large cities. And then, as it was also discussed, the amount of energy required per prompt varies from whether it's a text, image, or video. And by some estimates, it can be comparable to running your microwave for 20 seconds to a text generation to running your microwave for several hours to generate a video. And for librarians and libraries, as well as academic institutions, it's important to think about whether this comes into conflict with any environmental sustainability goals your campus has, or any just reducing carbon footprint initiatives on your campuses. And yes, so just that's the main consideration for libraries as far as the environmental impact. And now I will hand it over to Shannon to talk about AI and bias.
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, so generative AI tools have, this has been discussed, significant biases, including racism and sexism, hard-coded into their algorithms and source data. And as has been discussed, the black box nature of most AI makes it impossible to directly examine their code and data and outputs for bias. And so oftentimes that must be evaluated indirectly by analyzing outputs generated. I, as Jacqueline said, um, there are attempts by some tools being made to bring more transparency to the what's being cited, but that is something that we need to actively seek out when engaging with AI tools. Scholars such as Dr. Safiya Noble, Dr. Joy Buolamwini, and Dr. Tiara Tanksley have published and presented extensive research on bias in AI, and links to presentations or publications by them. I have two of three of those. I will add the third. I have one for Dr. Safiya Noble, and that will be added to the GitHub page. And Jason, if you could, thank you. Um, so also, Jacqueline did touch on some of the legislation around AI and copyright. Excuse me. There is no comprehensive law, but there is a focus on transparency. We don't have a federal law governing AI and copyright. The most prominent proposal is the Generative AI Copyright Disclosure Act, which aims to mandate clear labeling of AI generated content, but it hasn't advanced beyond the initial committee stage in Congress. Uh, Fair use is the core battleground, and the really what we're seeing is lawsuits about fair use. And I've shared the cases, the current cases to watch, but really um, in order to in order to stay current with what's going on with copyright and AI, you really need to like do your own search in the moment that you're about to use an AI tool to really feel confident that you understand what's going on with copyright and AI. Ethical approaches to generative AI use must include a current understanding of these cases, as well as any new cases that might come up. This Nielsen Grace Note versus OpenAI was just filed in March of 2026. So this is an emerging space. If you have questions about the cases that I've bulleted there, in the interest of time, I'm not going into them in detail, but I can give some, broad overviews of them during a Q&A portion. Um, Really, I've been trying to save the bulk of my time to talk about transparency. Um, so Journal publishers, scholarly societies, and many academic institutions are calling for transparency around generative AI use. And uh, Jason and I today are promoting the only known published discipline slash publisher agnostic framework for AI disclosure. And it's, when Jacqueline presented the MLA Chicago APA styles, this is a separate thing. This isn't AI disclosure is about disclosing the process, whereas those the scholarly society or publisher specific ways, um, they are, yeah, thanks, Jacqueline. They are specific to a discipline or specific to a journal or specific to a publisher. And this framework cuts across all of that, and also has possible uses for administrative uses of AI, like uh, anyone who uses AI for an administrative use could also use this framework to disclose that use. And bringing transparency by disclosing the use of AI will actually decrease the shame and judgment around it, because I think that um, the more transparency more people have, the less shame and judgment there is around its use, and the more we will actually be able to have productive conversations about how AI is effective or is not effective in academic contexts of all kinds. One of the reasons also why we're promoting the Weaver framework is that the European Council, she's collaborating with the European Council of Research Integrity to make that, to get the AI disclosure framework adopted as the international standard for transparency around research integrity. So I've added a link to their work here on this slide. I'll also provide these links I'll update the GitHub with that link as well. And then Weaver has also created a statement builder, kind of like those citation generators that we all are used to using. So the aidframework.org is where you can use a generator to make an aid statement. And so with the remainder of our time, could I get a time check? How much time do we have left? Maybe
You
Tamara
have
can
about
just.
6 minutes left.
Okay, I was hoping for 10, but with 6 minutes, I think maybe I'm just gonna. So what I'll do is I'm going to put a link to the like little active learning thing that I developed. It's in a Google Doc, uh, which maybe I don't know that we'll have time for all of us to um, engage in this, but. Um, the oh, and you know what? I'm going to put the links to the, I'm also putting the links from that slide all into, so the builder link, Weaver's article, and then also the link to the European Council of Research Integrity. But basically what I did with this exercise that we're not going to have time to actually do, but basically I took a scenario where a student would come in, a student is confused about how to turn. Oh, thank you, Jason. Is confused about how to um, shoot my notes. How to create an annotated bibliography on a social sciences topic through a humanities disciplinary lens. This is often a complicated concept for a student to wrap their mind around. And so, uh, you turn to Claude and ask for advice. And so I've taken a screenshot of the prompt that I use, putting myself in the shoes of a student. Um, and then the other side of this is, imagine you're the faculty member who designed this research assignment. And so, how might you use the AID framework to write a statement for your syllabus, or for actually really at the assignment level? disallowing some of the ways this student used AI and allowing at least one way that it was used. And so, I think we don't have time to actually do this exercise right now, but I invite you to engage with this exercise and see how you would build an aid statement uh, for one of these two adventures or scenarios. Um, so I think
And
rather than, yeah,
and
please, Jason.
I'll just share that. So on the GitHub page that there are aid disclosures on any of the sections where anyone used an AI tool in any part of their process. So you can see an example on the GitHub page on different sections that used it.
Yeah, thank you.